Hey guys, it's Lainey, and today is Top 5 Wednesday. Today's Top 5 Wednesday topic is our top 5 books that made us think. So, without further ado, let's get started. Coming in at number 5 is Prodigy, but also the entire Legend series by Marie Lu. This one made me think politically and historically. Because this tells a story of a divided America, I was immediately drawn to it because of that, because, hello, I'm American. I was constantly thinking about how this America kind of reminded me of like North and South Korea, and the Republic is very much like North Korea because June, our main heroine, doesn't realize how everybody else in the world views her country. And those views are very oppressive and secretive and secluded and very harsh. And it also made me think so much in Champion when you go to Ross City, Antarctica. The fact that Antarctica is the powerhouse of the world is totally mind-boggling, and how their technology is set up is total, like, awe-inspiring as well. And it's just so thought out, and I was always thinking of the world during this book, and that's a good thing. When you're not just thinking about the story, you're thinking about the world and how everything kind of fits together. Coming in at number 4 is one of my recent 5-star reviews, and that is 1,000 Pieces of You by Claudia Gray. This was a complete surprise for me. I wasn't expecting to like it as much as I did. It deals with alternative dimensions and alternate dimension traveling. It just, God, it made me think so much about my life and what my other lives could be. I'm a very open-minded person when it comes to concepts that maybe are too hard to understand, or things that we don't want to talk about. Things like alternate dimensions, things like intelligent life outside of our solar system. I think of these things all the time. I mean, we don't know if there's other alternate dimensions of ourselves in other dimensions. Like, that just makes my brain hurt, but in a good way, because I'm like, what if that actually exists? We technically don't know if it does exist or not. There's things out there that we don't know exist, and I think that is such a strange concept to fully wrap one's head around, and I really loved the way I thought during this book. I'm not into science, but this made me like science a lot. Coming in at number 3 is one of my favorite books I read in 2014, and that is The Kiss of Deception by Mary E. Pearson. This book made me think in a different way. It made me think to the point where my brain hurt. It made me think to the point where my heart was burning and my pulse wouldn't slow down. While this is a romance fantasy, it also is a very heavy mystery, and you're trying to figure out who's the assassin, who's the prince. For me in this book, I guessed right. However, I was back and forth for most of the novel, so I feel like I can't say, oh, I guessed right, because I didn't guess right from the very beginning. I was going back and forth, and I was just trying to find all the clues and everything, and I can't wait to reread this book. But this made me think in an entertaining way. Because you don't get that a lot in a lot of novels like this, where I was just having so much fun, as frustrating as it was for me to read this book, because I was kept thinking and trying to figure out. Coming in at number 2 is a book I read at the end of last year, and that is You by Carolyn Kepnes. This book is creepy. It tells a story of a stalker, and you're in his head as he becomes obsessed with this girl that walks into his bookstore. It's told in second person, which is this extremely difficult thing to do, at least for me, to enjoy a second point of view story. This was done perfectly. It just really made me think, because all the things that this obsessor finds out about the girl is through social media. He knows everything about where she went to school, and her Twitter, and her email, and what she likes, all through social media. And that just like made me step back and think about this, because I feel like a lot of us, especially me, I'm very big in social media. You can find out a lot about me through my social media, and that just like made me pause for a minute and be like, what? That's creepy. That is creepy. This made me think in a very different way than the other books. It made me a little bit more freaked out and a little bit more looking over my shoulder. And coming in at number 1 is actually 3 short stories by one author. That is Edgar Allan Poe, the author. I was going to say by Edgar Allan Poe, but the 3 stories I have the most connection with is The Telltale Heart, The Black Cat, and The Cask of the Amontillado. Oh, I always want to say armadillo, and then my mind just starts getting really messed up. These 3 stories I spent a lot of time with while I was still in school. They've made me think so much because they end so terribly, and it made me think and like got me scared because I'm like, what if that would happen to me? What would I do if I was trapped in a tunnel for the rest of my life? It made me think in the worst way possible because, when I think of those things, it gets stuck in my head and then I get panicky because I think, what would that be like if I was trapped in a wall until I died? Like, that's what I think, and it just freaks me out. I mean, clearly he took the cake. I immediately thought of him when I thought of this topic. So that is it for my top 5 books that made me think. What about you guys? What are some books that made you think? I would love to know. Hope you guys all have a really great Wednesday, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye!